He had this insistent ruffled underfeather right next to the lower beak. He kept himself too groomed to be normal, but he always left that underbeak ruffled. It drove me crazy. He never let me fix it either. I couldn't get close enough. Or maybe it just slipped my mind sometimes, but it became a character flaw. And I learned to love it. I got him as close to out of the egg as you could get. He already came with a name, Sam. He was blue and white, standard. And when I saw him, there was a pull, and I knew he was mine. Sam was young. He was so young, too young to eat. I had to teach him. And what better way than mimicking a budgie? So I held his little dish of food and spent days forcing him to watch me eat his birdseed until, finally, I caught him perched and eating by himself. What a blessing for both of us. We got him from a family friend, and he came with everything. The attitude, the cage, and the accessories. He preferred one toy to the other, even if it was the same exact toy. He perched on his ladder all the time, but he never even looked at his dangling cloth rope. His mirror became his nibbling station, even though I got him multiple nibbling items. He hated the white scratching block. Vitamins be damned. I flat out refused to clip his wings because I wanted him to fly. Also, I didn't know how or that was a thing. So he flew all around my house. I taught him to perch on my shoulder. He would run from one side to the other, and he took to nibbling on my earrings. I worried constantly he might eat something off of them, so I began to stop wearing dangly ones, just for his benefit. Thinking back to it, the shoulder hopping reminded me really fondly of The Witches by Roald Dahl, where Luke taught his mice to climb his arms and do fantastic tricks. This pleases me to no end because it's one of my favorite childhood books of all time. I actually own one of the copies still, so it holds a really special place in my heart. I was his mother, and he was my baby, and that was that. I would teach him everything I knew and that he needed to know. He was my best boy. This bird had something to him that all animals seem to have. Back in my old hometown, we had a small quake later in the night. I slept through it, my mom had stayed up late, and Sam was out in the living room with her. Sam went ballistic, shrieking and freaking out, and my mom couldn't get him to settle for the longest time. She was worried he would wake me, but somehow I had slept through all of it. And then, thanks to a middle school sleepover, I found out I am a very heavy, can't be woken up kind of sleeper. Makes sense now that I look back at it. It wasn't until the next day that a neighbor alerted us that there had been an earthquake, and my mom explained to me what Sam had done. He was just freaking out, trying to alert us to the earthquake. We were just ignorant to his cries of alarm. Everybody's got that in them, but I had never been prouder. I used to have a 2000s bed canopy. All girls of the early 2000s pretty much had one. They were popular, cheap, and Walmart available. It was pretty much a drape that laid over your bed and gave like a princess-style effect. You can still buy them, I'm pretty sure. Note to self, pick one up when I want to. Mine was a pinky purple color, and I always released Sam into it so he could hop around and fly and have some time to be himself. God, I loved when he could fly. That little bastard. He gave me the world's biggest heart attack. But also, I was a dummy of a child who left their window open and then headed out of my room for something or another. When I got back, I couldn't find him. I panicked, screamed, shrieked, yelled, bellowed to the heavens. I sobbed so hard my mom was busy on the phone and came running to me to know what had happened. He was gone! He's gone! I screamed. He flew out the window! But where was he truly? I found the little heart stopper a minute later, at the very top of the canopy, huddled at the top, calm as you be, nibbling at the fabric like he always does and where he always was when I went to find him. Bastard. I grabbed him and held him and showered his little head with kisses. I cupped him in my hands and refused to be parted. Man, I was a mess. He was a baby, so I never held anything against him. He didn't know biting wasn't okay. I didn't know that they made a lemon-safe concoction to train your birds not to bite. You put it on your finger, and then after 1 to 2 tastes a day or so, they would lessen their biting until they stopped altogether. I did what the kids call riding it out, and I let Sam bite my right pointer finger until he learned that that wouldn't sway me. I would pet him, and he would eventually have to stop. One time, he bit me so bad, I bled profusely. I was scared he would get in trouble, so I kept it to myself, pretended it didn't happen, cried and got angry at him, and then came back to try it again. This finger should have scars all over it. But if it wasn't for this testimony, you wouldn't even know it had happened. What a bird. What a time. Eventually, all good things must come to an end. Whether or not you are the kind of pet owner who grows attached to their pet and treats them as family, or you have the mental strength to treat a pet as a pet, we can all agree that a bond forms. You become attached, and it's hard to say goodbye. We had to go to Europe to see family. This was the first time since moving away from them all those years ago that we would see them again. I couldn't bring Sam. So these old, let's call them friends, agreed to babysit my bird. A little backstory. In my religion, the number one thing you can do that is truly unforgivable is to convert religions, to give up God and move to another belief. We call it shirk, not good. This family used to be Muslim and then became Jehovah's Witnesses. Frickin' Johos. I had no problem that they were not interested in paradise. The problem became when they would come to our door to try and convert us. I've always had a problem with Johos, but this one takes the cake. Now, obviously, this wasn't going to happen, but unfortunately, we are European. And to not let someone in for coffee and cookies and quality chatting time, even if they are the scum of the earth, is to spit in your face. If they were your friends at some point, European Bosnian mothers will invite you in. They brought their pamphlets and they tried every damn time. This just solidified for me to be more religious than before. Like a teenager with reverse psychology. I'm so stubborn and hard-headed, you're having the opposite effect on me, and it's not going to work. But I digress. At the time, this family was the only one available and able to take on Sam while we went on our trip. A trip I was more than sure we would be coming back from. Childhood ignorance is bliss. We are not as stupid and innocent as you think we are. Trust is something earned, and not freely given. I still have trust issues to this day. Nothing is fixed. This family had 3 sons. They loved my bird, apparently. All good and dandy. When we did eventually come back from this trip, the first thing I wanted was my bird back. Right now! Thanks! It was pushed off for a while, and I grew hella suspicious. When we finally came to their front door, yes, I know, irony is a cruel mistress, Mother Joho opens it, like she wasn't expecting me to come back. I'm here for Sam.
I'm sorry, Anita, you can't take him.
What? 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 What did that Joho just say? You give me my bird!
I'm sorry, but if you take him, you'll hurt their feelings. And they love him. They feel attachment to him.
That's crazy. I don't remember asking any of those questions. I'm pretty sure I said, give me Sam! But my mother forced me to leave him. And as all parents do, they win. And you can't fight back, because you are a child. So I didn't take him. I left him there. I should have fought harder. I should have made a scene. I didn't do enough. And I never saw him again. Sam died at a ripe old bird age. He was like a grandfather age for birds. Little bird beard and everything. I can picture it all ruffled. They say to me that he died a good boy. But I knew that was a lie. Because he was my best boy. Inshallah, we meet again. Paradise. Where he can fly as free as you like. God, I loved watching him fly. Maybe I'll join him. It would be nice to fly free. To see him again. Hey, Sam. See you later, buddy.
There is freedom within. There is freedom without. Try to catch the deluge in a paper cup.